Good morning! It's day 6 of readathon week, and last night, even though I said I was going to read, I didn't end up reading anything, which is totally fine. But today I'm probably not going to read much either, because we're gonna do stuff. Like, we have plans for today. We actually have plans for stuff to do today. But we'll see what happens, and if I don't read, I'll be happy. If I do read, I'll be happy. I guess I'll just be happy either way. Hello, I'm back, and as I predicted, I did not get anything read, but I did get to do a lot of other things today. The first thing we did was go to Allegra Guitars, which is this place in Cebu that has all these really nice handcrafted string instruments. Like, you could actually see them, like, building them and, like, sanding the wood. And everything was just so beautiful. I wasn't supposed to buy anything. We went there so my brother could buy a ukulele. But I ended up buying one also. And it's beautiful. It's made of mango wood. And it's great. It also came with a case, which is wonderful. And after that, even though I told you probably wouldn't do anything touristy, we did some touristy stuff. Well, we ate lunch first. But after we ate lunch, we went and we saw the Heritage Monument, which I didn't actually even know existed. So nice. It's like this really, really, really big monument that took like 3 years and a lot of money to make. And this monument basically had all these sections that represented different parts of our history, from the very first, I guess, documented part of our history, which is when Magellan came, and then the big battle with Lapu-Lapu and things, up to parts that are more modern, like the time of martial law. And as I mentioned, I guess one of the first things that we learn, like, about the history of our country is when Magellan came. And a big thing he used, I guess, to influence the Filipinos and gain their trust is Christianity. And then so we visited Magellan's Cross, which was there from like that moment. Though the Magellan's Cross we saw there wasn't the actual Magellan's Cross. I think the cross is like inside that cross, because obviously it's really old, it's probably broken, but that was like the spot where it happened. And then after that we went to see the Santo Niño. And then do we do anything else after that? We went to Fort San Pedro. Yeah, we went there, but we didn't want to go inside because we were lazy already. It was kind of nice enough seeing it from the outside. And then we just spent like time as a family, and we ate dinner and things, and it was nice. And I didn't get any reading done, which I expected, which is fine, which is nice, because that's not what I came to Cebu to do. And even though at the beginning of this readathon I didn't even know that we were going to Cebu because it was that last minute, I'm kind of glad we went. And I think it's actually kind of relevant to the readathon in general, because the Diverseathon is like about exposing yourself to other experiences that includes other cultures. You know, being here in Cebu, they actually speak another language, and even though the area I'm in is kind of urban and it looks a lot like Manila, there are lots of smaller things that are kind of different. You know, like even just the jeepneys looking kind of different here. I think it's kind of nice, even though I'm not reading, I'm still participating in the Diverseathon because I am immersing myself in other cultures. So I guess I'll update you tomorrow. And tomorrow's the last day of the readathon, at least the last day of the Slowathon. I think the Diverseathon is going on until Monday. I'm leaving Cebu tomorrow. It's been really nice here, and I'm glad I went, even though it's super last minute, and I normally don't like last minute things. I guess I'm going to talk to you guys tomorrow then. Bye! Hello, so as you can see by my bookshelf, I'm back home. Cebu was great, but it's nice being home again, and I kind of need to be home because I have classes tomorrow. So what I did get read is I got till halfway through Wicked in the airport, but then after I didn't really feel like reading Wicked anymore because I was tired. My brain was tired, and I want my brain to be totally alert when I'm reading Wicked. So on the plane, I ended up reading more of Instructions on How to Disappear by Gabriella Lee, and on the plane, I managed to read 3 of the short stories. But something I do have to mention, whenever I talk about this book, I explain it as a book of short stories all set in the future, but I guess I misunderstood because it turns out that was the description of one of the short stories. But in spite of that, it's totally fine. I'm finding most of the stories here are actually more magical realism than sci-fi, which I'm totally fine with. I like magical realism, and I haven't read enough of it, I think. But the second story here actually is sci-fi, which was nice. And that was actually probably my favorite one that I read so far. And that's the one that's set in future Manila. And it kind of deals with terrorism and a bit, I guess, of artificial intelligence. And it was one that was not typical, which I liked. That being said though, the third story, which is the next one I read, is probably my least favorite out of all of the stories that I read in this book so far. It was one that follows an overweight Girl, I feel like the author had good intentions and maybe someone else reading it might get something else from this story. But the message it ended up sending to me was one that I didn't really like and one that came off as pretty shallow, and I really did not like it, which is sad. But the next story I was kind of relatively okay with it. It's probably my second favorite that I read so far. And that one kind of dealt with memories. I don't really want to say more about that. And the concept was really fascinating, and that's why I think I enjoyed it. But I do look forward to reading the rest of this book. I guess that's something that comes with reading a short story collection, that you are going to like some and not like others. But after, I didn't read anything else because I got home, I ate dinner, and my boyfriend came over. My boyfriend came over because he missed me. When he came over, I gave him a coin purse that I bought while I was in Cebu, and it's so cute. It has like a little tarsier face on it. He gave me a book that his brother told me to read, which is a book I was planning to read, but it was in the library, that's why I never bought it, and it's called Hopscotch, and it's by an Argentinian author. And I was thinking maybe I could read this in October, during Own Voices October, if you haven't seen that video. It's a readathon, like a month-long readathon that's going to be hosted by Katie and Mel, so I'll just leave a link to that. And anyway, this is something I might read for that. So thank you, RB, for lending me this book. Good morning, it is day 8 of readathon week, but all I managed to read yesterday was half of a short story on Instructions on How to Disappear by Gabriela Lee. Half of a short story. I was really sleepy, so I just read a bit, and then I slept. So, I don't have class today, but I do have to go to school for other stuff, but I will bring this with me. So maybe I'll get some stuff read. Last day of the readathon, even though I won't do much today, it's been a great week, you know, sharing with you not only the Diverseathon and Slowathon and my progress in those readathons and my thoughts on the, I guess, philosophies of those readathons, but also sharing with you the first week of my last year of undergraduate studies, which is kind of crazy. I'm a senior. I'm going to have my degree by the end of this academic year, which is ridiculous. Again, I'll try to read more of this today. I started editing my vlog. I didn't finish because my computer hanged, but I edited as much as I could, and we'll see what happens for the rest of the day. Good morning. It is no longer the readathon. The readathon ended last night. At least the Diverseathon did, but you know what I mean. The Diverseathon ended last night, and I did actually get some reading done. The first thing I did was I finished reading Fun Home by Alison Bechdel, which I started before I went to Cebu, and then I didn't bring it to Cebu, so I wasn't able to continue it. And I really liked it. The only problem I had with it, I guess, is I feel like I might have appreciated it more if I studied more literature, because I'm not a literature student, and they mentioned a lot of books here and people and things that I wasn't too familiar with, so I feel like I could have appreciated it more if I was familiar with it, but otherwise I really enjoyed it. And I guess I enjoyed the most how it was so honest. And through it, I was not only able to learn about the coming out story of the author Alison Bechdel, but also the not coming out story of her father. And seeing the repercussions, I guess, of trying to keep that big a part of your identity to yourself and how damaging that can be. And I was also able to finish that story I read half of in Instructions on How to Disappear by Gabriela Lee. I'm not sure what the genre would be. Would it be kind of horror? And even though it wasn't my favorite, it was probably one of the stories I enjoyed more from this collection so far that I've read. And so I'm looking forward to finishing it, even though I won't do it during the readathon. So that's it. The readathon's done. In this readathon, I was able to finish 4 books, namely Trip to Tagaytay, The Absolutely True Diary of a Part-Time Indian, Dwellers, and Fun Home, and I was able to get halfway through 2 books, namely Wicked and Instructions How to Disappear. And I don't actually have much time to talk about the readathon too much because I have to leave like right now. But I guess the main thing I enjoyed about these 2 readathons and about this week in general is I'm just glad that through the Diverseathon and the Slowathon, it was a reminder to us as a community to not just read and consume, but to go back to the why, to go back to why exactly we are reading, what our purpose is with reading, and why we enjoy doing it in the first place. And it was really refreshing, I guess, to have a week like this where you could focus on that instead. And I was really glad I was able to read the books that I did, and I was able to reflect on these books and this reading and these experiences with you on this vlog. Did you participate in the Diverseathon and or Slowathon? If you did, please share with me your experiences, what you read, any thoughts that may have come to you during this week. And I guess that's it for now. I really need to go. But thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you in my next video. Bye!